So today we're going to do water signs. For the crystal scrying this week, I'll be using the brown fluorite. It's got these really wonderful brown and purple striations. It used to be really pointy, but unfortunately I moved. Oh, come on, don't abandon me in my time of need. Well, anyway, it's not very pointy anymore, but that's all right. Let me see if I can get this focused on me. There we go. All right. And you'll notice that I don't have the fan going today. The heat wave finally broke. So I'll be using the Blacklight Tarot for the readings this week. And we'll go ahead and get started with the water sign of Cancer. Cancer, 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 Cancer. And Cancer, if you already have an intention in mind, just allow it to float up to the forefront of your thoughts. And just allow a little bit of free association to occur. Sometimes that can help us think about things in the context overall that we might not have otherwise considered. So go ahead and just kind of let your thoughts marinate while I deal out the cards. All right. And timestamp. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put the timestamp. Here in the past for you, Cancer, we have the Seven of Swords. It's reversed. So the Seven of Swords, of course, being something that can be about betrayal. Sorry, there was a cat hair on the microphone. Can be about betrayal, can be about backstabbing, can be about one-upsmanship, trying to get one over on, I beg your pardon. This is the Five of Swords. Boy, I'm really losing it. So the Five of Swords is about the actual conflict itself, less about the trying to get away with something and more that there was kind of like an outright battle, it looks like, here for you in the past, Cancer. But you have laid down your sword, you've walked away. Whether or not you were victorious, you're no longer engaged in that conflict. Here in the current situation, the place of the significator, we have two aces. We have the Ace of Wands in the reverse. The Ace of Wands reversed can mean that you feel impotent in a certain situation, or that you feel like you've surrendered your power. And that's crossed by the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles is a passive energy, and it has to do with bringing in material resources, and it is earth energy, elemental energy of earth. And that Ace of Wands is elemental energy of fire. So it might be a situation where you need to remain grounded in order to have this new financial beginning come in, rather than worrying too much about your potency and your power in a situation. Down here in the Imam Silai, this is going to be the foundations upon which the goal or destiny is built. And what we have down there is one of the other fives. So this is the Five of Cups. This is a receptive five, a passive five, if you will, as opposed to the active five with the Five of Swords that we have in the past. This could be describing the way that you felt about this situation, possibly. That you're leaving those emotions in the past and getting ready to move forward. From your perspective, Cancer, we have the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles can have to do with having a mentality surrounding survivalism over what is it that you actually want out of situations. So driven by need, driven by desperation. As you can see, these people are here in the foreground. And there certainly can be aspects of that associated with this, especially if you feel powerless in the situation. You could also be thinking things like, if I just had more money, I would be able to do whatever I wanted. And that's kind of what we see here, that there's the potential for your power to be returned as this money comes in, but that you're right at the beginning of this new cycle for your finances. From an outside person's perspective, looking in on your situation, Cancer, we have the Major Arcana card associated with the moon, which is the High Priestess. She has this all-seeing eye above her head because she receives all of these messages from the higher power. She's got this scroll on her lap, which represents secret knowledge conveyed to her by divine source. So people might see that about you at this time. See that you have tapped into something extra, that you are privy to things that not everyone knows. Or you might be very secretive at this time about what you're doing, which might involve you being solitary. And interestingly enough, we have this card from your perspective with the Five of Pentacles, where we have these two figures together. But from the outside looking in, we have the High Priestess, indicating that you could possibly be perceived as being alone, even if you feel like you are sharing someone else's company. And the truth of the matter is that this is something you are going to have to go through by yourself, even if someone else is there. Here in the future, the potential for a choice. And because it's reversed, you're hoping that that choice is not taken away from you made by somebody else. No one's going to know what's in your best interest as well as you will. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Six of Pentacles, and it's reversed. So you could be afraid that your resources are flowing out faster than they're flowing in. Here we're kind of in a transitional period. We're trying to move from this energy with the Five of Pentacles into this energy of the Six of Pentacles. We're afraid it might not work out or work out in time. And here in the midheaven, so this is going to be the result of this Five of Cups in the reverse, getting over a disappointment, leaving your disappointments behind you. We have the Devil in reverse. This is kind of an oppositional energy reversed, right? The Devil is Capricorn's card in the Major Arcana, and so would be oppositional to your sign of Cancer. This card showing up in the reverse in the midheaven, the potential is there for these baser situations to crop back up. It's possible you've left all of these things behind you. You're no longer subject to the whims of the lizard parts of your brain. And a big part of this is going to be having come through this particular situation for you. And I apologize, I do have the window open because I wanted a little bit of air to circulate. It's so nice right now in the evening. So we have a possible evolution here as well, because others right now see you as this high priestess, right? This kind of secretive, closed off, single energy. You have the potential to be very charismatic, Cancer. And the advice that you're receiving is to avoid cattiness, avoid things having to do with gossip, things rooted in your insecurities about yourself. Allow yourself to be seen as radiant and comfortable in social situations. That is going to conclude the Cancer reading for this week. I'm going to move on now to the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Scorpio, I'm going to shuffle your cards. So, if you have an intention already in your mind and your heart, just allow it to rise up to the forefront of your mind. And allow a little free association to occur. See what comes to mind. And if there are things that kind of connect between the synapses of your brain, perhaps things are more related than previously thought. Oh, that was a fun shuffle. Okay. Oh, yeah. Right out of the gate. Excitement. Okay. I'll put down your timestamp. And now we can get started. Scorpio, here in the past, for you, we have the Ten of Cups. This card is showing up in the reverse in the past, and when it does this, sometimes I see it as a parting of ways between you and another person. It's a very amicable parting of ways, very non-contentious. You could, if you wanted to, reach out to that person just to see how they're doing. That level of relationship. But no longer an active part of each other's lives. Here, in the place of the significator, that's you in the reading, Scorpio, in case you were wondering. 2 big major arcana cards, the Judgment card and the Sun. So there's a situation going on right now for you, Scorpio, where you're about to ascend to a higher plane. And everything around you is set up for that to be successful. Just so you know. The sun is just pure solar energy. So through that association, you can also bring in fixed Leo energy. But it doesn't seem particularly relevant to this reading. I'm just talking a lot because it's ASMR. Down in the MMC lie, we have the single lady. So this financial freedom that you have achieved is going to set up the situations around you that will take you to that goal or destiny, that will set up for the future events that are going to happen in your life. It's also very close to the end of the Pentacles cycle. From your perspective, you have the Three of Pentacles, and it's reversed. You might think that you don't have a particularly good professional reputation in a certain field, or you could feel like you have a hard time working with other people. But those are just your perspectives. I think the opposite is probably much more the case. From an outside person's perspective, looking in on your current situation, we have the Seven of Wands. People see you at the top of this hill, defending your title. This is like the person that everyone has to fight. Oh, hi, Jared. Thank you for coming. It's very good to see you. On their way up the corporate ladder. But it also puts you in a position of advantage to a certain extent. So that's kind of what people perceive about this situation for you at this time. Here in the future, Scorpio, we do have the Three of Wands. It's reversed. It could have to do with things potentially returning to you in the future. Or there could be investments that are about to pay off in a really big way for you. And perhaps you don't see that yet. Those things are both possible. Here in your hopes and dreams, this is kind of juxtaposed against your perspective that maybe you're difficult to work with, or that your professional reputation isn't very good. And that is the Temperance card. You want to be seen as someone who's very practiced, someone who's very moderate, not exactly middle of the road, because we're not talking about somebody who is average here. We're talking about somebody who can take part in all kinds of situations because they are just that cool. They can kind of just put themselves in anywhere. But don't be too hard on yourself if that's not exactly you, Scorpio. Not everybody can be expected to be perfect. In fact, very few people can. So, up in the midheaven, this is going to be the result of this financial freedom in the current situation. And we have the King of Wands in the reverse. Now, again, just like in Cancer's reading, the wands reversed are kind of a tricky energy. In this particular case, it can be about a volatile temper. It can be about somebody who is a philanderer also. I don't know if that term is outdated. But because it's in the reverse in the future, it can mean that this person is going to be coming into your life, someone who's a creative leader, able to guide others through charisma. But that you have not met this person yet, or, excuse me, that this could be a fire sign person. So, not necessarily that you should avoid those traits, but also possible that you haven't met this person yet. The final outcome is your advice for the reading. And this is, of course, juxtaposed against where others perceive that you have achieved a position of advantage and therefore are targeting you in some ways. Don't worry about those people. This is the Four of Swords, and I like to call it the nap time card. It's advising you to make sure that you get your peace and your rest at this time. Self-care is paramount, and anybody who tries to tell you otherwise, I would just be very suspect of anybody who tells you that self-care isn't important. Oh gosh. Something floating through the air. Excuse me. We're going to move on now to the sign of Pisces. Pisces. Oh my goodness. What is that? I don't even have my fan blowing stuff in here. It's literally just in the air. Well, I guess it is autumn. All right, Pisces. So if you already have an intention in your mind or your heart, go ahead and let it rise up to the forefront of your thoughts and just allow some free association to occur. And I will shuffle the cards. And and then my eye will leak. All right, Pisces. Put down your timestamp. Guess the readings aren't taking very long today. Oh, wow. So that's a lot of fixed sign energy around you who are a mutable sign. What was that like to deal with? If you feel like sharing, if you don't, no pressure. Here in the past, we have the Emperor, and he's showing up in the upright. So recently, it looks like, or perhaps always, Pisces, you have had control over your domain right up into the current situation. The Emperor is also Aries card in the tarot, and so some of you might be cuspers and have Aries in your chart. Here in the current situation, we have the Tower. So there could be a very destructive event. Oh, thank you, Ginger. There could be a very destructive event going on right around you at this particular time, Pisces. And you are kind of just wandering through it, blissfully ignorant of the catastrophic events, which is a good way to handle it, I think. Honestly, not the worst way to handle it, for sure. Here in the Immansili, so this is going to be the events that set the stage for what comes in the future. We have the Two of Wands. And this has to do with a planning process, which is always a good thing to take part in when we're talking about future events, of course. So we can see that this person is holding this little globe here. It can also be about planning trips specifically. Oh, that's good. I always get along pretty well with fixed signs, being a Leo sun sign. I like Pisces a lot. They seem really chill. Thank you for sharing, Jared. A 4 with a stack of blocks. Oh, I'm not sure what you might be talking about. I'm sorry. From your perspective, looking at the situation, we have the World card. This card is showing up upright. You feel like things are coming to a close for you in a particular situation. And that could be very true. From an outside person's perspective looking in, we have the Three of Cups, and it's reversed. So people that you were once very close to, like maybe even intimately close to, might feel like you are kind of wandering away from them at this time. And I mean, this is possible, especially like with the tower. You might be going through a very catastrophic event that can be incredibly disorienting. Um, and it's very easy to lose track of our friends during times like those. Um, Depending on how you feel about those people, you might consider reaching out at this time. Oh, interesting. Yeah, a lot of those things I just spit them out, and then they're kind of just there, but I can't go back and reference them. I try to be as organized as I can, but it's tough to remember everything that I've said. 4 with a stack of blocks. Huh. Well, I'll think about it. Sometimes it takes me a minute to recall things, too. If it comes back, I'll mention it. So, here in the future, we have that Taurian energy, the King of Pentacles reversed. The perspective oh, I usually do Virgo on Thursdays. But if you want a personal reading, you can drop some money in the super chat and I'll do a personal for you after I'm done with the Pisces reading. Thank you for asking. So, what we're looking at here is the card reversed, and may have to do with the fact that the card is in the future, but may also have to do with needing to cast aside certain ideas that will stand in our way of getting this. It could be feeling too comfortable in a situation. I don't see a lot of monetary comfort around you, so that may or may not be the case. Sometimes money doesn't have anything to do with it. Hi, Clark Smith Adventures. Thank you for coming by. But that King of Pentacles in the reverse in the future could also be an earth sign or very stable person coming into your life. Or finally, it could just be showing you that at some point in the future, you're going to recover from this. And things will be just like they were before. Oh, that sounds really chill. Actually, having Pisces in your family. So, up here in the hopes and dreams. This is juxtaposed against the World card, where you have the perception that something is coming to a closure right now. A cycle is ending. And there will be wish fulfillment, perhaps, associated with that. You're really hoping that whatever it is you're wishing for will come true along with this ending. Here in the midheaven, we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed, which is kind of a different energy from that World card, but very similar. I know what I just said is like, no, duh. the world is the end of the cycle, but the Wheel of Fortune is when the Ferris wheel is at the top. So this being in the reverse, we have the potential for another peak to come through. But it's going to rely on your proper planning in the current situation. The final outcome is the Chariot. You will be victorious in this situation. So these people who are not waiting around for you, along with that victory, might come in a different peer group as well. The Chariot is mobility also, the potential for you to go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do. It's a very triumphant energy for you coming through in the Pisces reading this week. So, that is going to conclude the water sign readings for this week. I'm going to go now over to the members side of the channel and do some crystal scrying. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you again very